President Obama, trying to preserve his legacy before he leaves office next month for 20-odd days now. Come in, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, National Center for Policy Analysis Executive Director. Colonel, his legacy includes, we have to say it, the rise of ISIS, Syria's civil war, and really the United States standing in the world, I would say, a lot more diminished than when he first came into office back in 2009.
Well, it's good to be with you, Ashley, and Happy New Year. When you think about President Obama's legacy when it comes to fighting against the global Islamic Jihad, there are four words that come to mind. First is obfuscation, the second is denial, then enabling and emboldening. When you go back to 2009 and the Fort Hood attack, which was my last duty assignment, that is still classified by the Obama administration as workplace violence. When you think about what happened in San Bernardino and also Orlando, the Obama administration, President Obama, came out and talked about arms control. When you look at what happened with withdrawing all of our troops from Iraq, you created a vacuum. That vacuum was filled with ISIS. And look how ISIS has spread not just through the Middle East, but all over Europe, and to include influencing actions here in the United States of America. And billions of dollars that have been given to Iran, which is the #1 state sponsor of Islamic terrorism, has only sought to embolden those such as Hamas and other groups out there to continue their fight against not just the United States of America, but all the freedom-loving countries. So that's the legacy that we're going to have. That's the legacy that President Obama is going to have to live up to.
And what does Donald Trump have to live up to? What should he be doing? How can we turn things around? You know, the ever-elusive peace in the Middle East is just not happening. What can Donald Trump do, not only from the Middle East, but generally on a global scale, in your mind, to put America back in the forefront?
Well, that's going to be the tough thing. I mean, we know what you have to do as far as restoring the economic strength and growth of the United States of America. But how do you rebuild and reconstitute our military capability and capacity when you have enemies that really have had the opportunity to achieve the high ground? When you look at the non-state, non-uniform belligerents that we call Islamic terrorism, and you also look at the rise of Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, we're going to have to, once again, move away from nation building to more of a power projection military, strike operations to deny sanctuary to these Islamic terrorist groups. We're going to also have to find ways that we can cut off their funding and economic support, and also the means by which they can promulgate and proliferate their ideological agenda all across the world, to include here in the United States of America. So I think it's so important that President-elect Trump has the right people on his national security and intel team to be able to make those goals come to fruition.
When it comes to foreign policy and getting into spats with foreign countries, the biggest critics of Donald Trump will tell you they're very concerned. He doesn't have any experience, prone to flying off the handle. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think he has surrounded himself, to your point, with enough experience that he won't be making any rash moves that could threaten global peace, if you like?
Well, when you look at the people that he's put in, his Secretary of Defense nominee is someone that was the former Commanding General of U.S. Central Command. His Homeland Security Secretary is the former Commanding General of U.S. Southern Command. His National Security Advisor is the former Defense Intelligence Agency Director. So I think you have the right people there. But then let's go back. I mean, what type of experience did President Barack Obama have? And furthermore, he did not listen to the generals on the ground that recommended a residual force in Iraq. For whatever reason, he thought the campaign promises were more important. Barack Obama was handed a bit more of a peaceful global situation than Donald Trump will be handed over to come January the 20th, 22 more days. But I think that if Donald Trump has the right type of team, that he listens to them, people that are practitioners, people that have been on the ground from the tactical level all the way to the strategic level, I think that you'll see success.
Very good. Optimistic outlook for 2017 and beyond. Colonel, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's take another check on the market.